The original Half-Life was created during an era where the majority of PC games had large, free demos released days or even months before the final game. Both Quake and Doom's free shareware editions included almost a third of their respective games, and many other titles followed their example. By the time of Half-Life's release though, the term shareware had fallen out of favor, and the demo was now in vogue. As part of this shift, these free releases had dramatically shrunk in size. Instead of a full episode or two, Quake 2's demo only included a handful of levels. And while many of the demos from this era, and beyond, are still used to preview these games before purchase, Half-Life's free demos never saw the same wide-scale circulation that other big titles had received. In this video, we'll be talking about the often forgotten official free demo for Half-Life. I'll be your host, Stashkip, and this is Half-Life Uplink. When Half-Life's first development delay was announced in October of 1997, Valve began promising that a playable demo of the game would be available approximately 1 month before release. Of course, the game would end up being delayed several more times, and the promised demo never came. It would not be until several months after Half-Life's November 1998 launch that Valve finally shipped a freely available demo of the game onto store shelves. This was Half-Life Uplink, a free mini-mission featuring all new levels set in the Half-Life universe, released in February of 1999. The demo follows Gordon Freeman on an alternate narrative path from that of Half-Life, set 48 hours after the Resonance Cascade. With no weapons, Gordon ventures into a new corner of the Black Mesa facility, where he must journey across the surface to align a satellite dish in order to send an automated signal to the USNRC, unlocking a new path to the Lambda Complex. After aligning the dish and sending the signal, Gordon is cornered by a Gargantua, with the G-Man overseeing all. As the screen fades to black, a message appears on the screen, reading, "Current evaluation, uplink completed. Require further data." After being booted to the main menu, the player is then prompted to buy the full copy of Half-Life. Uplink received very positive reviews, and by all accounts, pleased both new players and fans alike. It was later officially ported to the PlayStation 2, included as a game extra on the official PlayStation Magazine demo disc for June 2002.
On the PC, Half-Life has more mods available than just about any game, and the mods will be coming to the PlayStation 2 as well. In fact, Underground viewers will be the first to get the latest Half-Life mod, Uplink, and it's only available on the PlayStation 2.
Excellent. I'm sending the all clear and the door should open now.
As long as you have Half-Life on the PS2, you can enter in a cheat code and put this disc in, and it allows you to play a new chapter in the Half-Life story.
The Uplink mod is hidden on this issue of the Underground, so it's up to you to find it.
Well, I seem to be...
It could be played by activating the extras menu in the PS2 version of Half-Life, then swapping the game's disc for the demo disc. Unlike many parts of the regular game, the PS2 version of Uplink was not modified in any significant way for the console port. The Uplink demo was created by Valve developers John Guthrie and Kelly Bailey shortly after the company returned from holiday break in early 1999. The concept for the demo came from a chapter that was cut from Half-Life called the Communications Center. It was created early in the game's development and went through many iterations before being scrapped in favor of the chapter Forget About Freeman. A large amount of content was left behind in the final game, however, including reused geometry, voice lines, and textures. In fact, all of the voice lines spoken by the scientists and security guards in Uplink were present in the retail build of Half-Life at launch.
Cables are severed. We'd have to aim it by hand, and I'm getting high radiation levels in the transmitter dome. Nobody but a fool would go in there.
What about this guy?
Yes, you could survive in that suit of yours. Very
While
well.
Uplink shared the same premise as the Communications Center, it did not reuse any of the actual level geometry. As this cut chapter is an entire video topic unto itself, we will not spend too much time on it here. Let's get back to Uplink. According to Mark Laidlaw, the Uplink demo served 3 distinct purposes. First and foremost, it was meant to acquaint new players with the essence of Half-Life as quickly and effectively as possible. Secondly, it was to give current Half-Life players a brand new experience with the same level of polish as the original game. Lastly, it also served as an internal experiment at Valve for streamlining the development process, whereby tasks within a chapter were delegated to different developers with particular skill sets. This was in contrast to the original Half-Life, where chapters were generally built entirely by a single developer or a small group thereof. In light of Uplink's success, Valve decided to build Half-Life 2 with this new design philosophy. Although Uplink was never released on Steam, this is not the end of the story. In the next section, we will briefly talk about the retail distribution of Uplink and the only official add-on CD ever produced for Half-Life. Alongside Uplink's development, Valve also put together a small add-on CD for the game, called Half-Life Further Data. This included the Uplink demo, a Half-Life update kit, 2 music tracks from the game, as well as several new multiplayer maps, player models, and sprays. The first version, entitled V1, was pressed about a week after Uplink's online release and was distributed for free on store shelves. The title, Further Data, being an obvious reference to the text that displays at the end of the Uplink demo. V2, pressed in June 1999, is identical to V1 except it lacks the 2 new music tracks, and the previously mentioned update kit was slightly newer, to a version which allowed Team Fortress Classic to be played. While the majority of the player models, maps, and sprays were later added to Half-Life in official updates, many remain exclusive to the Further Data CDs. Due to the fact that the content was never officially distributed online, circulation has been limited. For example, the 5 official multiplayer maps exclusive to Further Data see practically no play in modern Half-Life deathmatch circles. However, in late 2009, a Valve fan named Ryan Finney created a website dedicated to preserving both Uplink and Further Data. It is now host to the original Uplink installer, a Steam port of Uplink, all files from Further Data, and full disk images of both versions. This website has been an invaluable resource in keeping the memory of Uplink and Further Data alive. Of course, this is not to overlook Half-Life Day 1, a large OEM demo from 1998 included with several pieces of PC hardware that Valve had partnered with. Day 1 contains the first 5 chapters of the game, but was not widely circulated. This is likely to be the subject of a future video, so we won't dive into it. At any rate, Uplink, Further Data, and Day 1 can all be downloaded on the Valve archive, linked in the description below. Let us know in the comments if you'd like to see a video on the Day 1 demo, the Communication Center, or any other topics referenced in this video. If you'd like to see more from us, consider supporting us on Patreon or Ko-fi with the links on the screen. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. I've been your host, Stashkip. Thanks for watching!